He arrived alone, gave a false name, and disappeared into a hotel room. What happened behind the closed door of room 1046 would puzzle police, mystify a family, and leave a trail of questions that remain unanswered to this day. This is the true story of a young man whose final hours in Kansas City became one of America's most enduring mysteries. And this is Hold My Sweet Tea. Hey, everybody, I'm Holly.
And I am Pearl.
Are you sure about that?
Matter of fact, I is.
You is. Well, before we get into today's story, I want to remind y'all about Sweet Tea After Dark. We went over it on the last episode. It's going to be our companion podcast where your stories actually take center stage. That's where we read listener submissions and those strange experiences that, you may have. So if there's a story you've been carrying with you and you want to get it out there and tell the world about your strange experience.
Yeah, we have listeners everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, it may not be every person in the world, but
it
will be all over the world.
You know how America has its urban legends? I want to hear some Australian urban legends.
Yes.
I want to hear some urban legends in Dubai. I want to hear some in whatever country, because I'm sure everybody has some kind of
cool stuff.
Folklore, urban legend, or stuff that has happened to them that you're like, whoa, that would never happen here. So,
or it might happen here, but we still want to know.
Right, we still want to know.
We want to know if it happens everywhere.
Right. How are your sleepovers in other countries?
Right.
Do you play Bloody Mary and light as feather, stiff as a board?
Or do you have some other thing that's similar to that gets done in sleepovers?
But you can submit your story.
And I think that stuff is way more popular in the girls than it is boys.
Yeah, boys are not like, but they might be, because that would be cool.
Yeah.
And we will put details in the show notes going forward of how you can submit and kind of a little questionnaire of what you can do.
Yep. And we're going to do it while it's freezing.
Yes, because the bad weather, it's affecting a whole lot of people coming this weekend and into next week.
So while we're under the blankets,
yes,
that's the perfect time to tell those spooky things.
Get you a hot beverage, get you a blanket,
snuggle up with your computer or your phone,
put your cat or your dog on your lap, and be like, let's go.
Speed.
Yes.
In those thumbs.
Yep. Tight. We want to hear. I'm right next to a keyboard. How convenient.
So where are we going today?
So we are going to start in Kansas City, Missouri, but our focus, our person that we are talking about, was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. So we'll get to that a little later in the story, but the story starts out because we want to start the mystery off with a bang.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. So this is the story of Artemus Ogletree. What a name.
He sounds like a scientist. He should be building weird contraptions.
Right.
Like Mr. Gadget.
He's like, look at this bike I made. Look at the big wheels on it.
That's right. Exactly.
Because, it happened. The incident happened in 1935. So we're going like way back.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it and you're like, oh my goodness, that was almost 100 years ago.
It's a long time.
Long time. So, woo, yeah. It was January 1935 in Kansas City, Missouri, a city that was at the time alive with commerce, music, and travelers from all over the country. Because, I mean, it was just like in the heart of the Midwest area. So people traveling from one coast to the other, you kind of just stop in the middle somewhere. At the heart of downtown stood the President Hotel. It was a towering building where guests stayed for business or travel, each room on of course, temporary refuge. On January 2nd, a young man registered at the hotel. The clerk asked him his name, and he kind of, nervously gave a name, Roland T. Owen.
Oh, we're using the fake name now.
Yep.
Yeah, because Artemus Ogletree would be like way more memorable.
So he requested a quiet room, an interior quiet room on an upper floor. And he was assigned room 1046. He carried no luggage. In his possession, he had a comb, a toothbrush, and a razor. He's like, I got the essentials.
My grooming kit.
Right, my little grooming kit. He appeared to be very well dressed. He looked to be.
Those clothes smell all right, since he's apparently going to keep wearing them.
Hope that hotel supplied some soap. He appeared to be in his very early 20s, and hotel staff noticed a very strange scar on his temple area and what seemed to be what is called a cauliflower ear. Mm-hmm. And those are physical traits that would later help identify him. Cauliflower ear is known a lot amongst like boxers and wrestlers because they get hit in the ear a lot. And when you get trauma to the ear, it bubbles up under there like a liquid bubble. And if you don't go get it like lanced and drained, you get these like cauliflower like bumps on your ear.
They end up hardening because it's like all cartilage.
Yeah. So if you look at a lot of boxers and wrestlers, you can see that their ears are, unless they went and got them all taken care of every time, they're kind of disformed a little bit. So he had that plus this weird like scar on his temple. Now, he was polite, like really polite. He was quiet, very demure and reserved. I know. Very demure.
I'm sorry.
But his behavior soon drew attention. The maid reported that the shades in his room remained drawn, leaving the room very dimly lit. A do not disturb sign stayed on the door pretty much the whole time he was there. And he had asked the maid not to lock the door. I'm like, that's a little weird. Yet he remained largely unseen in public areas. Staff didn't notice luggage, visitors, or clear expectations for his travels. They didn't know where he was going or where he came from. At one point, a voice other than his answered the door when staff knocked. So it was on the other side of the door, but it wasn't his voice. And he was like, no, go away. We don't need anything. These interactions suggested he was expecting someone or someone was visiting him. Several times, he spoke on the telephone with someone identified only as Dawn. So on January 4th, and the reason they knew, because that was back in the days of switchboards. So they actually had to unplug and plug you in here and there. So they had a switchboard. So the operator could hear your conversation when it started.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it D-O-N? Or
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's like a dude.
Yeah, Dawn.
I'm trying to understand
Not
if it was Dawn or Dawn.
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 Okay.
This dang Southern accent.
Right. It'll tear you up every time.
I know. On January 4th, the hotel switchboard operator noticed that the room's phone had been off the hook for an extended period of time. And for you younger people, that means the physical telephone used to sit on a base, and it would push the thing down so it was on the hook. And if you took it off the hook, it left the line open. So,
no one could call you. No one could do
yeah,
nothing.
no one could get a hold of you. So, Rudolph Prost, a bellhop at the hotel, was sent to check on him because they're like, well, this is a little strange. The phone's been off the hook for a while. So Rudolph knocked and found the door was locked. So after several attempts trying to get, somebody to answer, he took a master key and he opened the door. And what he found was shocking. The young man was naked, bloody, and barely conscious. He lay on the floor, slumped forward on the edge of the bathtub. Blood covered the walls, the bed, and the bathroom. His wrists, ankles, and neck were bound with cord. He had multiple stab wounds in his chest, his stomach, and legs. Also, he had a punctured lung and a fractured skull.
Okay.
Nobody heard anything, but
all of this happened.
Yes, all of this happened. No weapon was found at the scene. And the severity suggested a deliberate attack by another party, of course. I mean, he didn't do it to himself.
But did he?
But did he? The detectives found that his belongings were missing, including
his comb,
including his clothes he was wearing, his toothbrush, his shaving items, and his comb.
Well, damn it.
I know. They were like, they took my grooming kit and my clothes. They also discovered what they assumed to be a woman's fingerprint on one of the two drinking glasses in the room. So he was transported to Kansas City General Hospital. And during the time, inconsistent statements were recorded as he went in and out of consciousness because he was still alive.
I was going to say, he's probably a little bit on the loopy side, and stuff's not going to make sense.
So he reportedly denied harming himself. At one point, he said he had fallen against the bathtub and hit his head. And on another occasion, he said, "Nobody hurt me." Okay. It's a little weird, I'm like, he's telling all this stuff, but obviously somebody hurt you. So despite medical attention, he did die shortly after midnight on January 5th, 1935. The death was officially ruled a homicide. Initially, police could not identify him because Roland T. Owen was likely an alias. Fingerprints submitted to the FBI produced no matches. Investigators could not locate family members or anything about Roland T. Owen.
Of course not.
Right. So his body remained in a funeral parlor for about 2 months because he was just put on ice because they couldn't find anything. Right. They didn't know what to do with him.
Hopefully somebody will come looking for you.
So eventually plans were made for a burial in a potter's field. And I had to look this up because I was like, well, what is a potter's field? A potter's field was used for people who died without family or money for a proper funeral. Or they were like really poor and they couldn't afford a funeral. So they put them in a potter's field. But those plans were suddenly altered when an anonymous donor paid for a proper funeral. A bouquet of roses arrived signed, "Love Forever, Louise." I was like, dun, dun, dun. Who's Louise?
Louise.
So after all this was done, months later, in 1936, so we had rolled over into 1936 because there was investigations, there was all this stuff. So it kind of like went into the newspaper. A photograph and description were published nationwide. So not just in Missouri, it was nationwide. And the photograph was like of him and the side of his head. You could see the scar, and I will definitely post that. A woman named Ruby Ogletree in Birmingham, Alabama, said, "That's my son." She recognized the scar on his temple, and she contacted authorities immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So the young man in room 1046 was her son, Artemus Ogletree. He grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, and he left in 1934, like in April of 1934. So this incident took place in January of 35. So
he had been gone for a little while.
He was 17 years old. That's why they said he looked young 20. So he was still 17 years old. And he decided, I'm hitchhiking to California.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So he left home for bigger and better things, apparently.
So he thought.
And apparently he got into something that is a mystery.
Wasn't bigger.
Right. Wasn't better.
Was definitely not better.
Right. So the family had said they occasionally corresponded over the months through letters. They sent him money. And during his final months, Artemus stayed in several cities. Hotel records suggest that in Kansas City, he may have met another man who signed the registry at the hotel after they started looking through evidence and stuff. And his name was Don Kelso. D-O-N, Don Kelso.
Don Kelso.
Though the relationship is unclear. So he signed the registry, Don Kelso. Don. So after his death, and this is weird too, typed letters claiming to be Artemus were sent to his family. Some claimed he had traveled abroad, including Egypt. But there's no evidence that he ever left the United States. So this is after he died. These typed up letters were sent to his family.
Damn it, Don.
The letters received were later used to link his killing to a 1937 murder in New York, but no charges were filed against the man arrested in that case, one of whose aliases had been Donald Kelso. Dun, 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 again.
Oh, it's Don.
Don, don, don. The FBI later investigated, but still wasn't able to produce any new leads. The Kansas City Police Department investigated thoroughly. Interviews with the hotel staff, local witnesses, nationwide inquiries to identify him. Follow-ups, like regarding Don and possible acquaintances, like...
You mean Don Louise?
Don Louise. Donald. Despite these efforts, no suspects were charged, and the case still to this day remains unsolved. The President Hotel is now still standing in Kansas City, Missouri. It is owned by the Hilton. It is now the Hilton President Hotel.
Fun times.
So
go stay in. Does that room number exist?
I'm pretty sure it does. I don't know if they changed the room numbers when they remodeled and everything, but I would think that room still is in the hotel, or they reconfigured it somehow to be in there. So I couldn't find any haunted stories about it, but every old hotel has a haunted story.
Yeah.
So Artemus Ogletree's story is one of many unanswered questions. A young man traveling alone, using an alias, a violent attack. And back then, there was a lot of like spies and espionage going on in the 30s and, you know, Inspector Gadget type stuff. The gumshoe detectives and all of the international spies. So I'm like, what did he get into when he traveled to California? And then also...
He apparently got into Don Louise.
Right. I'm like, something's going on. But Louise, they found the woman's fingerprints. And then Louise paid for his funeral.
But was it Louise?
Right.
Or was it Don? Because now I'm worried.
Yeah.
That it might
so
have been
it's
the guy
this
who killed
whole
him.
this whole
Just
thing
pretending
coming
to be
about.
A girl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I mean, there was these, you know, anonymous donations and letters after his death.
Right.
The family like learned his fate after seeing photographs published, so they didn't even know. But whoever this person or persons that were trying to cover this up using all of these aliases.
Or was Louise Don's wife?
Maybe.
Were they like Bonnie and Clyde in it?
Maybe.
Out there
or they were like Mr. and Mrs.
together.
Smith thing, you know, going on.
Murdering together.
But what was his role in all of this? That's like the mystery. They don't know.
Yeah. So now I'm going to be mulling it over. Were Don and Louise the same person? Were Don and Louise married? Did Don and Louise even know each other?
Right.
Does Louise even exist?
Or was Louise actually Don?
Right.
But he rests in Memorial Park Cemetery in Kansas City as of today, of course. Room 1046, like I said, is still in the hotel, but they don't know, like, it's been reconfigured and everything. But the records of his life and death remain. A reminder of how even small details like a scar or a note can connect us to a story lost in time. So I have never heard this one. Of all the weirdo stories and things you would think that would be a mystery, true crime type stuff, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of misinformation on this story because I had to go back and pull newspaper articles and things from the time. And then there's a lot of stories told about this that kind of spin it really different. So,
well, you know, that's what happens. The older the story, the more versions there are.
Right. So there was, you know, saying that the Ogletree name, Artemus Ogletree, was the name he checked in with, and it was a fake name. And I'm like, that didn't happen. So
calm down, people.
Yeah. I went through the Ancestry newspaper articles. I found all kinds of stuff, but I will post pictures. But I mean, tell us what y'all think. Have you heard of this story? If you live in Kansas City, Missouri, have you heard any legends about this or anything that would, you know, that I got wrong? But I tried to fact check everything, make sure, like I always do. I'm like the weirdo. I know you are too about that, like going through everything.
Yeah, I get a little crazy.
And it pops up and it's like, Wikipedia. I'm like, no.
Shut up.
Shut up, Wikipedia. We don't trust you.
You're a liar.
But it's crazy. Do you think that he was involved in some spy ring? Do you think maybe he got into some trouble? Or maybe it was with the mafia out in California. Maybe something like that happened and he was on the run. But then there's ties to New York.
Don like a murderous lover.
Maybe. Could be.
The options here are endless.
Endless options. So we want to know what you think and we want to hear from you.
Yeah, reach out. Give us your thoughts on this case. Or send us your story. Our email address is holdmysweetteapodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can always message us on social media. Facebook, Instagram. Slide into some messages on the TikTok, YouTube. You know, there's a lot of options here.
Lots of options.
Lots of them.
Yep.
You can always give us a review on the platform that you're listening on also.
Yes.
That would be great.
And just as a reminder, there will not be an episode this Thursday.
Yeah, so don't freak out. We didn't forget.
Yep. We're okay. You don't need to DM and remind. You can DM and remind us because that way we know that
at least
they're
then we
actually
know
being listening to us.
somebody listened, or somebody realized, oh my God,
There's no Thursday episode.
there's nothing new here
But
today.
we will have another one the following Monday and then the following Thursday.
Yeah, so you'll get 2
I
next
have been
week.
working on a good one. I came up with one. I'm like, you are pure genius. Let's look at this. And I know Pearl's been working on one. So we're going to give you
Hours.
our story, and then that way it'll kind of set you up for like, oh, I can do this. I can submit a
Mhm.
short story because you don't have to go into detail. You don't have to go into a long
It doesn't need to be.
gobbledygook.
Yeah, no. And I mean, if we get more than one and they're only certain lengths,
Yeah.
we'll group them together. We'll be like, this one, this
Mhm.
one, this one, and we'll do them all.
Yeah, which is why we're going to do them every other Thursday. So that way,
We have time to
yeah.
sort it
Yes.
and situate it.
And we're so excited. We look forward to it. And I hope y'all like the little advertisement I put out already. And we're going to put some more out. And we're working on it.
Just trying to keep it interesting.
Yes. Can we work it?
Is it worth it?
I'm going to put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
I'm not doing that part. But Patty Salzetta might.
Yep. She would. And she made our lovely, lovely intro and outro music.
Outro. Intro and outro.
I know.
Out the draw.
At the draw. And it might sound a little different when we do the Sweet Tea After Dark because Pearl's going to mess around with it and see if we can manipulate it and get it a little darker sounding.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Whoa, that's right. That's what I'm doing while it's cold.
Yes.
And you're writing us stories, manipulating things. It's my Cancer ways.
Right. I'm going to manipulate you. The music's like, okay.
Right. And
I'll do it.
I'm going to make it feel like it was your idea.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I love how we always give animation to inanimate objects.
Yes.
But anyway.
But y'all stay warm.
Yeah.
And if you lose electricity, don't worry about your food. All you got to do is
put it on the porch
outside because it'll stay cold.
It'll be fine.
It's going to be okay. You're not going to lose your freezer stuff.
Now,
outside is a freezer.
If you live where I do,
you
might want to put it in a cage out on the porch.
In a cooler or something like that outside because, raccoons. Possums. All the little creatures of the night.
Creatures of the night.
Dr. Frankenfurter, he's going to be like, oh, Rocky Road ice cream.
That's right. On the porch.
Yes.
Yeah, and husbands, when you come home and you see this food on the porch, do not be like, damn it, Janet.
Right.
She did what she needed to do.
That's right. She did what she needed to do. You'll make sure you have enough toilet paper because why would you need extra toilet paper? I don't know why, but
it's insulation.
It's insulation apparently, and people are like down here, and we're like down here, like New Orleans area, so it's really not going to affect us that bad. But people are going like bonkers.
They bought all the chicken.
Right.
The store looks empty. And that
Pearl went to buy chicken, and there was no chicken.
I need some tenderloins to make my dinner tonight. No chicken.
Well, like 2 nights ago, I went to Whole Foods, and they had plenty of chicken. So, like, run over to Whole Foods
to get my chicken. Because my pregger's daughter, is like, I need some of that garlic Parmesan chicken stuff you make.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Right.
But then I was like, hey, there's no chicken.
Sorry. We could just have garlic Parmesan. Nothing.
Garlic Parmesan air.
Yes.
Yum, right?
Yummy. But as always, Hold My Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
You guys bundle up, stay safe, stay warm, and remember, just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping.
Bye.